at WrestleMania a total of 4 times, okay? 4 times. Twice he has successfully retained the championship at WrestleMania 16 and again at WrestleMania 25, and twice he has lost the championship, once at WrestleMania 20 and the year after at WrestleMania 21, to opponents like Batista and Chris Benoit. So definitely the record of Triple H is nowhere near The Undertaker, but it is an impressive record to say the least. To say you are 8-6 at WrestleMania is impressive. Edge has accumulated an impressive WrestleMania record for himself. He lost for the first time at WrestleMania in 2008 to The Undertaker. But Triple H's record is probably one of the best WrestleMania records I have seen in the last decade. So he has somewhat of a legitimate claim to being one of the all-time greats, being a former 13-time world champion, saying he's not going to surpass the record of Ric Flair because he wants to have Ric Flair's record stay intact. So I guess that means that nobody is going to hold the title record of 16 times as long as Triple H is calling the shots with the WWE long after Vince McMahon is dead. But this is definitely a perfect form to retire the wrestler Triple H and have him be the tuxedo business suit wearing type individual he's always dreamed of being. I read an article a couple of years ago that Triple H was happy with his office position, didn't have a desire to wrestle. He takes Kevin Nash at action because Kevin Nash is filming a movie called Monster Brawl, featuring Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan, available now on Blu-ray and DVD. I would venture to say that Nash is going to be returning to WWE under Legends contract sometime around the middle of 2012, probably in the summer months. So definitely, Triple H's desire seems to be outside of the ring and behind a desk in an office somewhere. So maybe this is the perfect form for The Undertaker to put Triple H out of his misery. And then, statistically speaking, I mean, numbers have been known to say a lot. They do this kind of thing for the Royal Rumble every year. They tell you how many people has competed in the Royal Rumble, how many people have been eliminated in the Royal Rumble, how many people a single wrestler has eliminated. So I thought this would be a pretty innovative way of really breaking down the statistics and breaking down this match for you from a perspective standpoint. And hopefully this will tell you a lot. We have seen Triple H compete against everyone from Batista to Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, while The Undertaker has competed against everybody from Jimmy Snuka to Jake the Snake Roberts. Individuals Triple H has never competed against and never will have the opportunity to compete against unless Triple H is fired by the McMahon family and has to resort to going back to independent wrestling, like Jake Roberts and Jimmy Snuka have had to resort to doing. So I think that The Undertaker has been presented with more incredible opportunities than Triple H has, only for his marriage certificate is why Triple H is where he is. The Undertaker competed at his first WrestleMania against Jimmy Snuka, while Triple H lost a 3-minute match to the Ultimate Warrior because of some frustration on the Ultimate Warrior's part. Something that's talked about a lot in the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. You'll find that torrent on our torrent board. Triple H describes the Ultimate Warrior as the most unprofessional guy he ever stepped foot inside of the ring against, and it was at Triple H's first WrestleMania, the same WrestleMania he was escorted to the ring by Rena Mero. So definitely to have that performance at WrestleMania in a 3-minute match, and The Undertaker comes out and decimates Jimmy Snuka, that really puts in perspective who has been the more dominant superstar at WrestleMania. These statistics really do say a lot. Triple H has lost to some people at WrestleMania. Batista and Benoit are some of the only people he's lost to at WrestleMania. Triple H has faced an incredible list of talent, everyone from Shawn Michaels to Benoit to Randy Orton to Kane, to Goldust to Owen Hart, an incredible talent that's never mentioned enough. But I really think that the statistics here are really favoring The Undertaker to win. And if you're somebody who is really down on The Undertaker to win, if you're somebody who's favoring Triple H because the numbers are really favoring Triple H, you think in your mind the numbers are favoring Triple H to win, there's obviously something wrong with your fucking brain. Because statistically, The Undertaker has had a better outing at WrestleMania, and there's something about this event where The Undertaker always finds a way to win. Harley Race said something really interesting when they were interviewing wrestlers. They were interviewing everybody from The Rock to Austin about The Undertaker versus Triple H, Part 1, last year. And Harley Race said something really interesting. I've had Harley Race here on the show for a few minutes. And Harley Race said, if luck had anything to do with The Undertaker winning at WrestleMania, you would think that luck would have ran out maybe 10 years ago. And he's right, isn't he? I mean, luck probably would have ran out on The Undertaker 10 years ago, but it didn't. And it hasn't. And luck continues to ride on the shoulders of The Undertaker every year heading into WrestleMania. And the perseverance of The Undertaker is something to take in consideration. No matter how much of a beating he takes at WrestleMania, he's taken his fair share of beatings not only at WrestleMania, but over the last 21 years, ever since 1991. 2011 marked his 20th year with the company. He comes around every year at WrestleMania like Shawn Michaels does to promote his streak. Good for him. I mean, if he's enjoying his time off, being married to Michelle McCool outside of the wrestling business, not having to appear on WWE, so be it. You know, if he comes in and gives us this incredible match, and that match every year wins Match of the Year at the year-end Slammies, I mean, so be it. I don't think The Undertaker deserves to lose. I mean, a total of 33 appearances for both individuals combined at WrestleMania, a total of 18 championships, 2 titles ahead of Ric Flair's record. And if you were to statistically break that down, that would pass the record of Ric Flair of 16 titles. So, you know, I don't think he deserves to lose. I think it's been said by a lot of fans, and the fans who have said this are some of the smartest wrestling fans who don't get enough credit. And I'm giving you all the credit in the world for this week's numerical presentation and breakdown of The Undertaker versus Triple H. And this is for the idiots who believe that Triple H is going to win at WrestleMania. I'm giving you all the credit in the world for saying that The Undertaker should not lose and should forever be known as the guy who never lost at WrestleMania. That should be his thing. And I think that if The Undertaker loses at WrestleMania, I think Edge should come back and resume his crusade of taking out everything stupid in WWE and immediately go for WWE Creative. Why not start at the top? Because a lot of the stuff WWE Creative have been throwing our way have been absolutely stupid. I mean, you have over 19 appearances by The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He's had incredible performances at WrestleMania. It's the one night of the year that The Undertaker shines. And you're going to have Triple H pull a Rock at WrestleMania and have The Rock take everything away from John Cena, and the same night have Triple H and DX take everything away from The Undertaker. I mean, DX has done nothing compared to The Undertaker, for Christ's sake. Check out the DX Home Video torrent on our torrent board. Check out the history of D-Generation X. Then check out the history of The Undertaker. I mean, The Undertaker's history. I mean, Tombstone, the history of The Undertaker, 15-0 at WrestleMania are fantastic documentaries of how much The Undertaker has done over the last 21 years. Not only has he won a lot of matches at WrestleMania, the biggest WrestleMania record that has been put in place by anybody, but he's been the innovator of a lot of matches, like the casket matches, the body bag matches, the Inferno matches, the Hell in a Cell matches. He competed in the first Hell in a Cell match in '97, something Triple H will never be able to say. The best Hell in a Cell match I ever saw Triple H compete in was in '04, a match that went over 36 minutes with Shawn Michaels, a match that Triple H won, and rightfully so, in that incredible feud. And you also have to take in consideration, too, I mean, Shawn Michaels would be a fucking idiot to let Triple H be better than him at WrestleMania, wouldn't he? I mean, Shawn Michaels for years has been known as Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper, the icon, the main event, Mr. Hall of Fame, recently here in 2011, his latest accolade. And he's going to let Triple H go in the Hall of Fame probably 6 years from now, or sooner, being known as the guy who did something he couldn't do 2 years in a row. I mean, it doesn't sound legitimate. It doesn't sound right. I mean, Shawn Michaels doesn't seem to be that kind of guy to me to let his best friend do something he couldn't do. I mean, if Shawn Michaels was going to let Triple H do everything, you would have thought Triple H would have been the first guy to jump off of a ladder. Or Triple H would have been the first guy to win a chamber match. I mean, Shawn Michaels is, and The Undertaker's right when he says Shawn Michaels is better than Triple H. So why is Shawn Michaels going to all of a sudden let Triple H be the guy to defeat The Undertaker? Is Shawn Michaels going to come to WrestleMania saying, okay, I've done everything, things that Triple H will never be able to say he did? So I'm going to let a former 13-time world champion do this one thing I couldn't do just to give him the satisfaction of knowing he beat The Undertaker? Something that I think Triple H is going to have find very hard to live with. I mean, Triple H is going to be really devastated that he could potentially retire if he puts The Undertaker out of his misery at WrestleMania. Something else you need to take into consideration too is this storyline is based on vengeance and The Undertaker not wanting the image of that beating he took at the hands of Triple H over 25 chair shots to to be withstood in the minds of every Undertaker fan and everyone who's followed his WrestleMania streak ever since the early 90s, defeating everyone from Jimmy Snuka to Jake Roberts, two incredible talents who probably would have had a chance or been looked at as having a chance of beating The Undertaker on the biggest stage of all. The same guy who jumped off the cage in New York City on top of Don Morocco in that incredible feud couldn't get the job done. The same guy who was a huge inspiration for many wrestlers who utilized the DDT in their move arsenal and all of his personal demons couldn't get the job done against The Undertaker. I mean, it is incredible how many people couldn't get the job done against The Undertaker, not only at WrestleMania, but in Hell in a Cell matches. Mankind, who debuted the night after WrestleMania in 1996, couldn't get the job done against The Undertaker inside a Hell in a Cell. And just as many people couldn't get the job done against Triple H inside a Hell in a Cell. Cactus Jack, the most hardcore wrestler in the industry, couldn't get the job done in 2000. And retired, supposedly, in 2000 because of the beating he took at the hands of Triple H inside of the cell. The Hell in a Cell has been described as the devil's playground, a place where wrestlers come out of never the same again. And it's true. I mean, a lot of what people are saying is true. A lot of people have never come out of the cell the same, and the wrestlers who come out of this cell match, Triple H and The Undertaker at WrestleMania, will never be the same again. Now, the outcome is going to be something that they're going to feel and know about and hear about for the next decade. But I really don't think